Once you have a dream, you work for it, work hard, definitely you will reach your goals.
Welcome to the Rubasha Family Podcast. I have a very, very special guest in the building. I have Abdulla Almutareb, Chairman and CEO of Tazin Aviation Services. Now, an amazing CEO, a visionary who's built something with his imagination into reality. A master in business administration, bachelor's in business administration, aircraft engine maintenance license that he's received, aircraft maintenance type 2, aircraft airframe and power, and his experience in domains, over 35 years of experience in aviation. You know, a chairman and managing director of Tazin Aviation Services. He was the CEO of Felix Airways, a deputy managing director for commercial Yemen Airways, commercial director at Yemen Airways, marketing manager, country representative, Germany, Italy, Bahrain, Yemen Airways, and aircraft ground engineer at Yemen Airways. Someone who has prioritized customer experience and the passion to be able to give people memorable, tranquil experiences since 2008, opening the shop in Yemen and planting the seed to serve his industry with their private jet, VIP cargo, and aviation services, which spare jets, ground handling, fueling, and permits. 10 years later, they can proudly say that they've been successful in reshaping the benefits aviation has to offer, not only in the Middle East, but globally. It's a pleasure to have you on, Abdullah, to learn from your experience into where you started to where you now and where you're heading with your legacy.
Thank you very much for having me. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. This is not the first time that we have been talking. I'm glad that I'll be required to share my experience in the airline industry with especially young generation that they still dream to build their own career. I don't want to say that I can be set as a good example, but I can just share my experience that once you have a dream, you work for it, work hard, definitely you will reach your goals. This is in short. And if you want me to go through the phases or the stages that I went through my life since I started in 1981 as a student and then a ground engineer, working with my own hands in the field, working as a ground engineer, receiving flights, do a kind of troubleshooting and solve problems. Then moving back to school to get my bachelor degree in administration and then moving to commercial. I've been doing almost everything in aviation from the zero. I started as an officer in commercial till I ended up as a deputy managing director for commercial, and then a CEO of the first and the early low-cost carrier that was built in Yemen in 2007. And then I resigned because I did not like the environment of not giving me the opportunity to show all my ability to build a modern airline. Therefore, I decided to move and start my own business. The name Tahseen is from the verb improvement or enhancement. And it was selected because I was really dreaming of doing things in a different way. Whenever we provide service, we have to provide it to the best of market practice. We don't believe on doing something less than the best market practice. When we started in Tazin Aviation in 2008, I was alone. And then I hired a young guy just to help me with the admin stuff. Today we have offices in Yemen, both in Aden and Sana'a. We have an office in Dubai, and we have also a trade license registered in Germany. We are expanding rapidly, but we maintain the same level of service. We don't tolerate the standard of service that we keep promising our clients. We promise that nothing but the best service standard that is available in the market. Sometimes even if we have to get a very small margin, but we never compromise our service standard with the margin that we are getting from any one of our operations. As I mentioned last time, when I started I still remember February 2008, I spent over 6 months trying to promote the services and to start to sell myself as a businessman rather than just an official employee of Yemen Airways and Felix Airways. It wasn't easy, and it was a very hard start, whereby I spent like 6 months without getting any income, $0. But I really believe in my dream. I believe that one day we will be able to achieve the goals that I set for the company. After 6 months, we started with the first charter flight, which really was we say, we kicked the wheel with the first charter flight, which was really a very success. And then we started to grow. We hire more people, and today we are, running the business from both Yemen and UAE office very successfully. We have built a name. We expand not just only within Yemen and the Middle East. We are now attending businesses worldwide.
Wow. What a story. You just talked about it there. Before I get to that 6 month of you not being able to earn an income, having the passion to start your business, where did this passion through aviation come from? Like, seeing your career, and as I said, over 35 years, that tells me someone who's had a passion and obsession. But where did this love for aviation come from?
Well, I think it came from the childhood. I used to live very close to an airport, or the main airport. When I was a child, I was really amazed and fan of aircraft. Whenever landing or takeoff into Sana'a International Airport, aircraft were overflying our house, and I was always looking to the sky and wondering how this big body is being flying. That's why I was really curious to know more about aircraft. And that's why I studied engineering, and I got to know the aircraft inside out. And once I got to know about the theory of flights and how aircraft is leaving ground and how they maintain altitude, and then I started to work with my own hands on fixing things. After 5 years of doing this, I feel that this is enough, and then I have to move to something different. I moved to commercial, and in commercial, I was lucky, to be honest. I was lucky because I was moving from an officer. In few years, I was nominated to represent the company abroad, and I was sent for the first time to Bahrain, and then from Bahrain I went to Germany. I came back and I was the marketing director or marketing manager of Yemen Airways, and later, after 2 years, I was sent back to Italy, where I served another 4 years, and I came back to handle one of the biggest projects of Yemen Airways, called the Turnaround Project. The Turnaround Project was one of the most aggressive projects that Yemen Airways was trying to position itself as one of the early established companies in the region. But unfortunately, once all the plans were set and we were about to start implement, the company management decided not to go, and I have to be assigned to take another job, which I started from scratch. which is establishing Felix Airways, the first domestic operator, which we started the operation in 2008. But then, due to political reasons and the business was not merely commercial, then I have decided to quit and start my own business. And that's why I told you in the beginning, it wasn't easy to sell myself to people as a businessman. Everybody was seeing me as ex, CEO of Felix Airways and part of Yemen Airways management. But that did not stop me from trying. And I kept at that time trying and again. And it took me about 6 months just to sell the idea and promote the name of Tahseen Aviation till we start to generate business. Almost 6 months from the day we established. And during that 6 months, I spent all my saving, and even I sold my wife's car just only in order to maintain the life standard that I have established for my family. And then when the business start to yield or to get a return of all that efforts, it started then very successfully, and today we are running the offices in Yemen, both in Aden and Sana'a and Dubai, with a very professional team from almost every part of the world. I have in my company people from many nationalities, including European, Asian, and also the Middle Eastern. And we are forming a team of more like a family style rather than just only an a dry admin policy. We run the company with that mentality of a family style rather than just only a mere business dry environment.
Wow. So within that 6 month time frame, you've gone out to now start your own business. Why didn't you give up? Why didn't you give up after month 2, month 3? You know what? Let me just go back to go get a job. Let me, I had a salary. I'm comfortable. And I also want to even talk about your wife, right? That's not even for your wife to stay in that position. Women also, they want to be secure. They want to have security, right? And so wow, what was that journey like? What was the hardest moment that you faced during that time?
First of all, when I established Tahseen Aviation, I knew that one day it will have to be the pioneer, because it was the first of its kind in the country. I have the experience. I have the trust of many people. The only thing, as I told you, people were confused. Whenever they were receiving me as an airline officials representing Yemen Airways. So to change the hat, till the people get used to see me as a Tahseen Aviation, it took some time. I have traveled back and forth between Yemen and mainly Dubai. I came to Dubai and Sharjah for, to start collaboration with some charter operators and aircraft owners. And because I believe that the dream is not just only a dream, it's not just only something that it's not, able to be realized. I believe strongly in my dream, and my wife was a good supporter. My wife was working at that time. She was a teacher. She was earning a little money, which is enough to support the family during that time. But it wasn't the same standard that I have generated for the family. But nevertheless, nobody from the surrounding realized at all that we were passing through a hardship of no income, at least from my side. But once we get back into the business running, and we start to generate money to cover our operational cost, and also to have a small margin. And not just only about the margin, but it was my satisfaction and happiness of running the business, and to see the business start to flourishing and start to show results. I did not give up, because I know no matter what, I go back and accept a job, it will not give me that freedom of being the decision maker, to implement my own standard of doing business. Working for somebody, you have to apply rules and regulations of that individual or that company, regardless whether it's a company or individual policy, that once you want to apply your own standard, it's not easy to sell. But doing it for your own self, doing it in your own company, is you are the one responsible for the outcome, whether it's a success or a failure. And I was ready to take it, and it was a success.
Very, 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 very powerful. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that journey. And let me ask you, when you worked for Yemen Airways, what did you see? What were gaps in the market that you saw that you said, wait a minute, I could do this? What was it like? Okay, so you're working within a company that's established like that. What were the gaps in the market that made you see, you know what? Let me go set up my own shop. What did you learn? What did you learn about the business development side from marketing manager? Because you have quite a lot of versatility, ground engineer, CEO, marketing. So, you're in the trenches, you're there, you've had an experience all round. So yeah, what did you see to go out and say, you know what, let me go set up shop on my own?
Well, when I was working as a marketing manager or even a commercial director, I noticed there is a demand of charter flights with a smaller plane. Yemen Airways at that time was operating Airbus 320 or a 737-800, which is too big for chartering service, mainly for family of 2-3 people. Also, the medevac, we were having a lot of requests for medical evacuation from Yemen to Jordan. Due to the the health or the standard of hospitals in Yemen were not great at that time. So for critical situations, people were preferring to go to Jordan or to Egypt or sometimes to Europe, and they would need medical evacuation aircraft to take them. So that gap was not covered by Yemen Airways. The only possibility is to put a stretcher on a commercial aircraft and cover that stretcher with a carton and take the passenger or take that patient in a commercial aircraft. That was one of the main motive or demand, that we know that nobody was available to fulfill that requirement. Also, the VIP or business people were traveling around, and it's too costly for them to go on a big commercial. When we started with those. We started with business jet and medical evacuation, and that was the beginning. And later on, we moved also in chartering big commercial aircraft. We organized Hajj season from Africa. We organized big groups traveling, and we also lease and sublease commercial aircraft to small operator and startup. But that came at a later stage. In the beginning, we were focusing on this gap of providing a small jet that could perform a flight within the region, and also the medical evacuation, which was not available. We covered that, and we believe that Tahseen is now known in the market of the first option for charter flights, being it a VIP or medical evacuation from Yemen or from the region.
So can you talk to me a little bit about what you learned or your passion for customer service for your clients, right? Why was that such a big thing for you?
Uh, you know, when I was working for the airline, at the end, it's a governmental operator. Uh, though we were running customer satisfaction survey, but there are many things that we were not in a position to do any kind of catering for the client requirement. So, and in private business aviation, or in the way that I'm running the operation, we send a survey after each flight to our clients to evaluate our performance, just to see how much they were satisfied with our services. And after each flight, we learn a lot. We learn if there was something that we missed, or if we have something that was not done properly. So in order that next time we will try to do the job in the best to the market practice. And this is what we have learned. We were operating regular flights for oil companies from Africa to Yemen. And after each flight, we were sending them, a feedback form, just to see how much we were really, um, serving the requirement. And we believe that whether the charter operation or the services that we provide now to most of the international organizations, like providing them with permits and supervisory job in most of the airports, that is also help us to improve further and further the business that we provide to our client. So here, as a private company, and being small is sometimes it's an advantage, because you can adapt and change your policy from time to time, just to make sure that you really satisfy your clients.
So, operating a private jet charter, what type of clients do you serve?
Mostly those people that can afford to fly with a private jet. Not everybody afford to fly on a private jet, but the demand is high, and the region here, the Middle East, is like witnessing now the highest demand of business jet operation. Uh, Dubai being now the hub for the business aviation, and we are lucky to be here, as we moved, or we started our office in Dubai since almost 2014. And since then, we are operating side by side with so many competitors, or let's say partners, that we sometimes will compete, and some other times we collaborate, because in such a healthy market, um, you will need everybody, because if you don't have the service today, you can sublease it from somebody else. And this is what we do. We have a very good relationship with most of the companies that provide the same service that we do.
So, but how do you stand out from your competitors, right? It's such a competitive industry. How is it? How do you stand out from your competitors? I think that's a very good question, very interesting in this day and age. You have the service, and you're passionate. What's the differentiating factor between you and everyone else in the marketplace?
This is a very good question. So many companies providing the same services that we do. So we are not the only one, but we believe that when we accept, or when we are selected to do any one of those flights, we add our personal touch. We don't let it go systematically. We have to do every single steps of flight preparation, and also the flight operation, to the best of our knowledge, and we keep our people looking into those small details. Mostly this is where the difference can be done. Those little details general things, everybody can provide a flight and make sure that it goes on time. It's not just only going on time. It's not just only going, with the luxurious standard, but also that personal touch we keep to provide our clients, so they feel really that we care. It's not just only that we are giving them the aircraft and then leave them with the crew. No, we follow up every single step to make sure that they are happy and the flight is performed according to their expectation, if not exceeding their expectation.
And then I love the example you gave. Something even you've made me keep thinking in my business to keep improving the survey, right? Giving them a survey, finding out, would you refer us to someone else? Seeing exactly what we could do to improve. So what's your vision? What does the next 10 years look like? Do we see Tazin Aviation Services in Australia, in US, in Europe? What's the long-term vision for the company? And where, as a CEO, where are you taking the company?
Well, Tahseen Aviation had started the project, which is not yet completed, but it's our dream, and it's the next step that we are planning to do. There is an airline where Tahseen Aviation owns 75% of the shares. Was established in Yemen and stopped due to the situation. But our next step, beside expanding worldwide and providing the services of charter and flight support worldwide, we are planning to start our own airline, and we go into the operation of our own aircraft, and that will happen soon. That soon is really depends on the situation in Yemen, and once things are safe, we are planning to start our own business and our own aircraft and operate and go further. For the Tahseen portfolio of today, providing charter and flight support, we are expanding. We are providing the service. We started with Yemen, and then we expanded into the Middle East and Africa, and now we are expanding to Europe and to the Far East. We don't have intention now to go to the United States and Australia for the time being, but you never know. I mean, the more we grow, our clients will take us further, because as a charter operator, it's not you who decide where to go. It is your client who is taking you wherever he wants, and we cater for the requirement of our clients.
Wow, I love it, and again, this is part of your global expansion. To tell your story, to see where you come from, and for people to really see the passion and the energy that you put into that customer service. And so we were talking a little bit offline just before the podcast about what time you wake up in the morning. Do you mind sharing with the audience what time you wake up in the morning?
Well, it's happened since I was a student. I never woke up late. Normally I wake up 5:30 to 6 o'clock. All of my reading is and even when I was a student, all my studying was at that early. I wake up like 5:30 when I was student. Now it's been since decades. I never wake up after 6. So 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I start to do my normal reading. If I have something urgent or a report to be written, it has to be done at that time when it's very quiet and I have fresh mind, so I can perform much better than staying late and doing things at night. I'm not a man who stay late. Normally I go to bed by 11 and 11:30, and I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every day since very long time.
For a long time, nice and early. So just quickly, what does a life look like within a CEO like yourself? What's the biggest challenge of being a CEO?
Well, to be a CEO, first you have to have a vision. You have to believe on what you have in mind. And you have to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, if you don't have a vision, you don't fit to be a CEO. And a CEO or a leader in general, everybody or all of us, we know the difference between manager and a leader. A leader is the one who leads and work with his own people. I deal with everybody in my office as they are my own family member. I don't give any kind of mysterious or bossy behavior just to give instructions, and people, they have to live with it, whether it's applicable or practical or not. No, I have to show them myself. I still have a good connections, and most of the time, if they don't know how to do things, I will help and do it in front of them. So it is something that I build that experience, and I share my experience with my subordinates and followers. So here or in Yemen, I keep good relationship with everybody, and I keep telling them, you have to have a dream, you have to believe in your dream, and you have to believe on yourself. If you don't have that trust and believe, you will not be able to go anywhere. And don't dream with small stuff. Always dream big and work hard. Definitely you will reach your goals.
10x, dream of the biggest possibilities that you can,
Sure.
No small dreams. Okay, I want to play a game. I will say a word, and when I say the word, whatever comes to your mind, you say, and then you can explain on that word.
Okay.
Entrepreneur.
Hard work.
Explain.
You could be having ideas and a dream, but that dream, if you don't put it into practice and you work hard to make it coming true, it will remain a dream. Everybody can dream; it's easy, but to convert your dream into a mission, into a project, that is what's entrepreneur, and how you really can convert ideas into projects.
Into reality. I love it. Hey, what's wrong? Bro, I'm stressed out. I'm running my business. I've got to serve my customers, but I need more customers coming in. I can't keep relying on word of mouth. Why don't you just use ETS Rubasha Media? Who? Well, with AI now, what they do is they go in, get your perfect clients, bring them in front of you. So all I got to do is run my business, and he brings me opportunities. Think about it. You speak to 3,000 of your ideal customers, convert 1% of that 3,000. That's 30 people. 30 people in a room with you. Can you convert that? Of course I'll close them. I'm good at what I do. I just don't have time to be going and looking for my perfect client. Focus on what you love doing and let them bring you customers. When you win, they win, commission, cha-ching. Sujira Rubasha, huh? Yeah, Sujira Rubasha. Go and Google them, man. Come on, take it to the bank. If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.